Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real. Taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Happy Wednesday to you guys. I forgot what day it was, Mike. It was Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you guys. Welcome into The Real. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share like I said there. And yeah, welcome on in. Great show tonight. Looking forward to it. I'm fired up. I just feel fired up tonight, Mike. What about you?
I'm reasonably fired up.
Reasonably. Mike, how you doing on this fine Wednesday? Little OTA action, Mike. Football's in the air, Mike. How do you feel?
Yeah. Here it's starting up. It's in the air. We're starting to see 11-on-11s, a little bit of throwing, seeing some of the rookies shine. I'm pretty excited, and like always, Cleveland media is already up to their ways, making a big deal of Myles Garrett not being at voluntary OTAs. So there's that.
Yeah,
That's
was he over
fun.
in Tokyo or something, or Japan?
Yeah, he's never at voluntary OTAs. It's not a big deal. He's never there. And he's still the best defensive player in football. I don't even want to get into that. I'm not going to give them more clicks than they deserve.
I'll get my take on it in a second. I got a take for you. But before I get in, well, shout out to Humble's in the chat, Mike. Shout out Humble. Let's go. Let's like, subscribe, share to my family, friends. We love you, Humble. That's the OG right there. Parent John, another OG. We got all the OGs in the house tonight, Mike. He said, "What's good? What's up, Parent John?" He said, "Shedeur's been looking real good so far." We're gonna get into Shedeur here in a minute, Mike. But yeah, to start with the Myles Garrett thing. So Myles Garrett, if you guys don't know, OTA started today. It's voluntary, like we all know. Myles Garrett didn't show up, like Mike mentioned. I do think it is funny though, Mike, that Jimmy Haslam said in the statement after they signed Myles, how they challenged Myles to be more of a leader. Remember that? And that they said we'd like to be more of a leader and this and that. So from that standpoint, I think at Myles' part, I'm kind of like, you would want him there to kind of set the tone, get you got two new QBs in the house, you know what I mean? You got the D line, your fifth overall pick in the draft in there too. Maybe get in there and start getting to know him, help him out. But and then from Myles' perspective, though, Mike, I kind of look at it as I know he signed a contract here, but I don't think his relationship will always be the same if it ever was any good with the front office here. Because he did take a direct shot at the GM. No matter what, he still took a direct shot publicly at the GM the way he did. So I think that'll always be there. And so I think there is some. I think Myles is kind of just, being Myles. I think he's just kind of an introvert in a way. It's just personality.
Yeah.
And I think one point, though, I will say, somebody in the media who I really love, Dustin Fox, because I think he's just really fair. He's a former player. Dustin's a great shout out to Dustin. I thought he made a hell of a point today over UCSS. Shout out to them. Was, Myles played a lot in some bad games at the end of the year. In a shitty season where they weren't going to the playoffs, he was still out there playing. Maybe his body just needs a break. It's a lot of wear and tear on him, and I think maybe just mentally he needs a break to get away for a while, kind of reset. He still had a pretty hectic off season early on with all that stuff. So I think from Myles' standpoint, I think he's kind of maybe needs a break.
Recharge,
being himself, wants to stay out of the spotlight. Even though whatever he does will still be in the spotlight. Because that's who he is. Not saying that's him, but that's just because of his name. That's it's price to pay when you're that great. And I think too, it could be a slight kind of just, you're not telling me what I'm going to do. I know you want me more of a leader. I'll be a leader the way I want to be a leader. And I think a
Right.
lot of it too, Shaq was like this a lot of ways too, where now Shaq didn't work out like Miles Garrett did, didn't take her his body like Miles Garrett did, but Shaq also had the mindset in the summertime was, I don't need to do all this. I don't need to get ready for Duncan. I don't need to get ready for this because he was just so dominant. By the time he got in the season, it was like, oh, no, it's a bit different basketball, but he would play himself into shape. And but come playoff time or when it mattered most, Shaq would show up and dominate. I think Miles, in a similar way, is so dominant that he has his rituals, his workout, his routines. He does in the offseason with his trainers. He's working out with Micah Parsons, and I think he may just view it as I'll show up when I need to, and I'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
You got anything you
I
want to add?
mean, well, yeah, and another thing too is like I just I had brought up the point to a bunch of others people as well. Like he's never had voluntary OTAs. He's never not since like his second year in the NFL. He stopped
Yeah.
going to those, and like it doesn't change. Like you said, his production on the field, what he does on the field, like leadership. That like he'll play in a shitty season. He'll play through injury. He'll play through adversity. That's just who he is as a player. I
Yeah.
could really care less personally if the franchise player doesn't want to go to voluntary OTAs. It's not like he's going to miss anything. It's
Mhm.
Miles Garrett. If he wants to enjoy his time before he has to clock in for the next, almost 10 months, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, you would hope it further than that, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I know what you mean. Humble said, "Good to hear you, Mike."
good to hear from you as well, Humble. I hope you're doing good.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll drop the link here in a minute or in a little bit here if you guys want to come up here and give your take on all this. Because this is pretty interesting. So let's get into the main topic, Mike. That's all we're going to discuss with the Miles Garrett thing for now. I think that's really all there is to say, right, Mike? I mean, yeah, is that it? Yeah, we're good. But our main topic of the show, though, who will be quarterback one for the Cleveland Browns this upcoming 2025 season? Obviously, you got a room here of Dylan Gabriel, as you can see, Kenny Pickett, the veteran, Joe Flacco. We all know him, the 40-year-old veteran, and Shedeur Sanders, one of the most polarizing rookies we've seen in a long, long time. I mean, I think by when it's all said and done, no matter how he pans out, he'll be one of the most polarizing prospects we've ever seen, just because of the name and how it all happened in the draft. And so, Deshaun Watson's also in the room too. He's in the meetings as well. Obviously, can't perform next season because of his injury, but he's also in the meeting as well. So it's one hell of a room right now in Cleveland. Couple things that stood out to me before I let Mike take over is, I think the way I heard Shedeur Sanders talk about Joe Flacco. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week. He was on Kay Adams' podcast, and you could tell he's just kind of like the way he spoke about Joe Flacco really stood out to her. It really stood out to me in the interview as well. And he just how he's watching him, picking his brain a little bit, being around him already. I've always thought that was kind of why they brought Flacco in, was to be more of a mentor. Now, I know Flacco said today in the media he's not here to mentor QBs, and he should have that mindset. He's here to compete and to try to win. But I think Flacco just naturally, I think he don't have to talk a lot. I think guys like Shedeur, and Shedeur already said it, they're just watching him, watching how he operates, watching what he says in film studies in the QB room when they have their meetings and stuff. So I think that's kind of the relationship. I think you're starting to see somewhat of not say relationship, but kind of, I don't know what you want to say, an apprenticeship possibly forming there between Flacco and Shedeur, even if it's not by design. Although I think the Browns did want Flacco in there just because he knows the system, and you want a veteran in there to show these guys the way. You don't have to say it, just show them. Now, as for Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett, I have a different theory on all this. We had I can't wait to hear Mike's thoughts on this. Here's the QB tracker from today. This is according to Cleveland.com. Get this up full screen for you guys. So this is from today's practice from OTAs. Joe Flacco today, I look at the completions and not the attempts, excuse me. I look at the attempts and not the completions. Because really what the biggest storyline with all this is the attempts and the splitting up of the reps amongst these 4 QBs, right? Because people are trying to nitpick and say, so-and-so's this. He's Shedeur's fourth up on the rotation. Does that mean he's fourth on the depth chart? Right? Everybody's trying to take a look at it. I don't think that's what's going on here. I look at Joe Flacco with 14 attempts, and I look at Shedeur Sanders with 9 attempts. Right? Now you look at Shedeur, 9 attempts, 3 touchdowns. Pretty damn good day. 7-9. Joe Flacco, 9 of 14, 1 touchdown. Pretty efficient, looks pretty good. No picks for either of them. Kenny Pickett, 9 of 16, no touchdowns, but he didn't turn the ball over. Dylan Gabriel, 11 to 16, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. So he's thrown some picks already this offseason. We saw the one he threw, the Carson Schweisinger, which is fine. I'm not picking on. He's going to throw picks. I mean, he's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. I'd rather make mistakes now than in the real deal. But I look at the 16 attempts for both Pickett and Gabriel, Mike, and I think, to me, what I've said all along, I believe Joe Flacco is going to be their guy come week 1. And I think Shedeur could challenge it, but I think they're not going to rush Shedeur out there. I truly believe Shedeur Sanders is their guy. Now, why they took him after Gabriel the way they did it, I think it was more maybe a message towards Shedeur, and I think it was a way to kind of ignite competition in the room. And we've already talked about a lot of that, how the draft process and all that. We get all that. So I think the Browns kind of did this by design, and I think the real battle is between Pickett and Gabriel for the third spot on this roster in that room. I think they're going to go into the season with 3 quarterbacks. I think either Pickett or Gabriel, in my opinion, will be gone. I didn't love the Dylan Gabriel pick at the time. I didn't understand it to take him that high, but they took him. I think if I had to say right now, I think Kenny Pickett's probably the odd man out because you did spend a 3rd-round pick on Dylan Gabriel. I think Pickett, you didn't give up really much anything to get him either. All you did was just swap DTR for Kenny Pickett. So that's really not that's not a big deal to me. I think maybe Pickett could be useful to another team who maybe wants a veteran backup quarterback. Maybe that's the way the Browns can try to get a pick out of it. And I think the Browns are smart by putting competition in the room. I think Kevin Stefanski, Tommy Rees, Bill Musgrave wanted competition in that room. And they should, because they need to try to get the best quarterback they can. They need to finally get it right, hopefully. But I looking at the snap count or the attempts, Mike, and I'll hand it off to you. I think Flacco with 14 attempts, I think tells me Flacco right now is the QB1 in that room. Shedeur with 9. I think they're kind of slowly progressing Shedeur. But I look at the 16 and 16 for Gabriel and Pickett. I think that's the real battle here, Mike. I think the lower for Flacco and Sanders is because I think they already have kind of a spot in the room guaranteed. I don't think Flacco's going anywhere. I don't think Shedeur's going anywhere. I think the real battle is between Pickett and Gabriel, Mike. And if I had to say right now, I think Pickett might be the odd man out. And I found it interesting. Kevin Stefanski was up there, propping him up today in the media too. So could it mean something? Maybe not. I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
You kind of stole a lot what I was going to say. never bad thing. We're on the same wavelength.
Got the Liquid Death. You want to sponsor us? Hit us up.
Yeah, please sponsor us, Liquid Death.
Please, we'll have your drink. Go ahead, Mike.
Shedeur Sanders has looked excellent, and I know it's just been rookie mini camp and OTAs, but he looked really, really, really good out there. 3 touchdowns, great completion percentage, only out of 9 attempts. My take on all this, I would agree with you. It's going to be between Gabriel. Well, no, I would say it's between Pickett and Flacco, really. I really don't see a scenario in which Gabriel gets cut. I see a scenario maybe he gets traded. That's a little bit more likely. But you only have Joe Flacco on a 1-year vet minimum deal, kind of the same thing with Pickett. So, one of those guys is going to be gone. I don't know who. Right now, I would agree with you that it's looking like Pickett. Shedeur does look more, just better on his deep balls. He knows when to break the pocket. So far on an 11 on 11s, he's obviously better at working the middle of the field because he's just taller than Dylan Gabriel. I feel bad for the kid. Everybody's hitting him on his height, but it's just a fact of the matter. When you are a shorter quarterback, you struggle to see the middle of the field and work the middle of the field. And frankly, Kevin Stefanski loves to do that. 2 tight end sets. You want your tight ends running those little whip routes, curl routes, all that good stuff. And to do that, you need to see the middle of the field. So I really think Shedeur, there are a couple reports that came out that they want one of the rookies to shine and want one of the rookies to take the job. I wouldn't be shocked if, like you said, Flacco starts and then Shedeur takes over at some point, because here's the thing. Flacco, had a Linsanity run here in 2023, took us to the playoffs. But the fact of the matter is, Joe Flacco hasn't played a 16 game, let alone a 17 game season in like 8 years, something crazy like that. He's 40. He's a great football mind, but I just don't foresee him finishing out the season. And shout out Mason Graham, who batted one of Dylan Gabriel's passes down, already making plays. But yeah, I really agree with you there. I think it's going to be Flacco than Shedeur. And I mean, here, if Shedeur continues to wow, then I wouldn't be shocked if Shedeur starts week 1. It's just a matter of.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to rush it. I mean, I do think he's their guy. Do you believe? I mean, what's your theory now, looking back on all? I mean,
I really don't know,
there's
man.
something the way they went about it. You know what I mean?
I have a couple of working theories, if you will. I mean, that could have been very well he was just so bad in the pre-draft process, in the interviews. I mean, all that stuff came out with New York, and here, when that gets out, it doesn't matter if it was with one team. You might as well have had a bad interview with 31 other teams. You know what I mean? You had a bad interview and were combative with one front office. You might as well have been combative with the 31 other front offices, because these GMs talk, these coaches talk, you hear that. It's not good. That really could have been it. It could have been. I doubt it was play. I mean, he looked great. I mean, yeah, there were questions he played in the Big 12. He never. There were questions about competition, all that good stuff. But he even still didn't have a run game or an offensive line. There were just a lot of question marks about it. I don't know how much that played into his fall or why he was there. But I mean, here, if he is in fact franchise quarterback caliber, even just starting quarterback caliber that can become a franchise quarterback, and you get him in the 5th round, the Browns got insane value. You're paying your starting quarterback 5th round salary for 4 years before you have to pay him all that money. It gives us an insane window if he is the guy. And everybody at least will agree, even if you're not sold on Shedeur yet, and most people are, just based off of the personality, the name, and everything like that. But even if you don't think Shedeur is the guy, or you don't think he's starting quarterback caliber yet, you can't argue that he has way more talent than you would typically find in the 5th round.
Oh yeah, I think he's
even
displayed that already.
You believe all of those things.
I mean, I think in the rookie mini camp, he's already showed that. He's showed that.
Yeah.
Also, part is obviously. I mean, you look at the stats. I mean, I guess it's just practice, but practice matters obviously. But I mean, 7 and 9, 3 touchdowns. That's pretty damn efficient. He's been killing a lot in the red zone too. I think him and Harold Fannin, Mike, on some of the stuff I've seen, they're starting to develop a connection a little bit too, just through reps. I agree with you. I think he's their guy. Now, why they went about it the way they did, I have no idea. Why did they take Gabriel first and take Shedeur in the 5th? We may never know that answer. Again, I gave my theory earlier, but shout out to Tune In Sports, Mike. He's up in here. He said, "Salute.
What's up?
Who do y'all want to be the QB?" I want Shedeur to be the guy, because if Shedeur's the guy and he plays well, then it means we got our quarterback. We got 2 first-round picks next year.
Yeah, I'm on the Shedeur train from a myriad of reasons. One, because you got to figure it out quick. Because, like Joseph just said, we have 2 first-round picks next year and a stronger quarterback class. So if you figure out he's the guy, you can spend those premium picks elsewhere, and also you will have a bigger window because you won't be paying premium salary for a quarterback. And also, I really just think right now he has the most upside out of anybody in that room at the moment.
Oh yeah. Param John says, I think they didn't expect Shedeur to fall that far. Probably wanted to take him in the 2nd, but after hearing reports, they waited and took him, and that has lit a fire on the Shedeur, which I love. I will say, to Shedeur's credit, Mike, I think he's handled this offseason very well. Been a complete professional here in Cleveland. Real quiet too, Mike. I haven't really seen. I mean, he was here when he first got in town. Obviously, he made some noises because people were excited about him being in town. But he made the appearance at the school, which I thought was good. And I haven't really seen a lot of him, Mike, though. But he's been in town still. But he's been real quiet. I think he's handling this really well, just putting his head down. And only time he's really speaking is to the media.
Right.
So he said, Humble said, "I'm tired of already knowing we have Kenny Pickett."
Not a horrible backup. You can do worse. You could do worse as far as backups go than Kenny Pickett.
Shout out to Tim Donaghy. I'm sorry, but I think I said that right. Welcome into the real. He said Flacco will start the season. Shedeur will start around week 5, probably sooner if God forbid Flacco gets hurt early. That's my prediction. I agree with you, Tim. That's my prediction as well. I think Flacco starts off, and I think Shedeur eventually takes over and takes off. Be honest, boys. Do you think Shedeur was snubbed? Yeah, I think he's better than a 5th round pick. I think he got snubbed. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, the fact, if we're just talking like should he have
talent, I mean,
pure talent, then yes,
yeah, he got snubbed. But what did the other teams think? That's their. I don't know. That's their job. I don't know how to say. I mean, that's their right to do so. I guess I don't know. That's what that was their opinion. I guess you could say. So, I don't know. How do you want to phrase that, Mike? What do you got?
No, I know what you're saying. I don't know how to quite phrase it.
Talent wise, he got snubbed, but
yeah,
why he fell, only the teams know.
Exactly.
And it may have been for bullshit reasons. It may have, I don't know. So, let's see. Shout out to Rodney Porter. He said Shedeur Sanders, Rookie of the Year, Hall of Famer, QB1, Week 1 starter. Stop playing. I hope you're right, Rodney. Welcome into the real too. Appreciate you tuning in, brother.
Yeah, I hope you're right about. I mean, here if he's ready, Week 1, great. If you're right about the rest of the stuff, I'll be happy, dude. We've been looking a while.
Yeah. I hope you're right.
Here, dude. Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest. I'll be the first one to say, like, I want Shedeur Sanders, but if for whatever reason Dylan Gabriel is better, like, I don't care. I don't care where we find a quarterback. I just want one. I just want a quarterback.
Cleveland doesn't care who it is. Cleveland just wants somebody to be good.
Yeah, we just want a quarterback.
We don't get.
And here, I want it to be Shedeur Sanders because of the name and all that stuff, and I do think he's more talented than Dylan Gabriel. When you come down to it, he's got better athleticism too, and he's taller. More stuff you can do with him.
I think he's a better overall quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit there are probably some things that Dylan Gabriel does just a touch better, but
I don't know. I mean, not in the NFL game. I don't think there is. I don't see it. Bad interview doesn't drop a guy for projected 1st round or 5th round, and to take Tyler Shuck, I'm flabbergasted. Big Red 409 says so. Nobody got Pickett as the QB1.
No,
I don't.
No.
Now to be fair though, there are some reporters out there who have good inside information. Mike, you've probably seen that they think that Pickett is their guy, possibly to be QB1. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe Flacco's the guy that's the odd man out, and maybe Pickett's the veteran starter Week 1, if that's the route they choose to go. I don't see it that way. I think Flacco's got too much cachet in that locker room already, just from his experience, and he was here previously. And I think the timeline adds up. I think the worst thing you'd want for the Browns, Mike, maybe not the worst thing, but if Pickett plays like Sam Darnold-ish, which I don't think's gonna happen, but you never know. And here, nobody thought Sam Darnold would be as good as he was last year. People thought his career was over. But what if you had a scenario where Pickett plays good enough, but then you still got Shedeur in the back who's looking pretty good in practice? I think you'd rather probably go with Shedeur because he's on a rookie contract and he's on a 5th rounder contract, right? So, I don't know. You got any thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't foresee him having like a Sam Darnold insanity run. And here, like, also like the optics of it, like I think Joe Flacco can give you similar play to Kenny Pickett, and you're not tied down or married to either of them. And even if Joe Flacco plays out of his mind again for us, I mean, he's 40, so like even if he plays out of his mind, he's not going to be here forever.
Like, yeah, I think the timeline sets up better.
Yeah, so like another reason why I think Kenny Pickett's the odd man out. Like here, if Joe Flacco happens, if they're like Shedor's not ready, he'll start year 2, or we think he'll be ready by year 2, and then that's the route they decide to go. And Joe Flacco plays out of his mind. That's great, but you're not tied down to that. He's 40. There's not a lot of juice left in that.
Yeah, he said, yeah, but they'll have to pay him a year early if he does pan out. If he pans out, though, I mean, I think Jimmy Haslam will gladly write that check, Mike.
Oh yeah, and I mean here even if you're talking of just they'll have to pay him a year early because you don't have the 5th-year option, but within those 4 years, you're still only paying him $4 million a year. So if you know after year 1 that hey, this is franchise quarterback, great. Then you can just go all in again and spend all the money elsewhere. Plus next year you're out of the Deshaun debacle contract too, which is going to free up like $45 million. So
yeah. Yeah, I agree. From the outside looking in, I would agree Flacco will start. Do you guys really believe? Wait, what is it? Oh, excuse me. Do you guys think they really believed in Gabriel when they drafted him? Honestly, I don't. I think it was just to get the Shedeur name detached from them. Um, that's a hell of a point at the end there, Mike. Yes and no. Well, I don't know. I think your last point there, that maybe get their name attached. Maybe at that point in the draft, Mike, maybe that's why, because some of the reports were surfacing behind the scenes and publicly. And I think teams are worried about their PR. We all know that. Now, the Browns, to a lesser extent, they've brought in guys like Deshaun Watson and other guys who have had were a PR nightmare, but I think they still care about it. And I think the Browns, Mike, here's what I think. I think the last part could be true, Tim, but I also think the first part could be true as well. Not everybody in that building. I think the analytical department, because we all know if you know the Browns are really heavy in analytics, especially with Paul DePodesta. I think, who sat right next to Andrew Berry during the draft, by the way. I think they really like Dylan Gabriel a lot, and I think the coaching staff more so really like Shedeur more. That's my opinion, and I think ownership probably likes Shedeur a little bit more too. Because let me look, all the money he's already generated. I think number 1 jersey sales are right in the league, Mike, or something like that. Yeah, I mean ownership's loving it. But anyways, Mike, what's your thoughts on this?
I would agree with you. I think both can be true. I mean, I think that Dylan Gabriel, if he was like 6 inches taller, is the prototypical Kevin Stefanski quarterback. Really good at running an offense, pure rhythm and timing, has West Coast style, could probably run it in his sleep, honestly. Dylan Gabriel, I mean, he's one of the most productive college quarterbacks ever. His numbers, he didn't really have a bad season ever in college. It's just, the height is really like borderline. And when it comes to seeing the middle of the field in the NFL, it's a big question mark. But I would argue, I think they did believe in Dylan Gabriel. I just don't know how well his game translates to the NFL. Like, he has everything you would want in a quarterback, except like the build or frame of one.
Yeah. Well, I think left-handed somewhat matters. Not as much, but I do think being lefty does matter because the trajectory of the ball comes out differently to receivers, the way they catch the ball, the way they see the field differently, progressions is different a lot of times than the right-handed quarterback, because you're usually working with mostly right-handed quarterbacks.
Right.
So I think that's a little different too, plus the height. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point there. Shout out to Tim. Great comment. Drop a like, guys. 14 people. Yeah, hit the subscribe button as well, too. Please hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Appreciate you guys. Rodney says Shedeur needs to play stiff competition, not bad teams. The only way to find out about his true ability. Don't you guys want to win or not? Oh, we definitely want to win. We've been craving for a winner, Rodney, here in Cleveland. What do you got, Mike?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, here in the NFL, every team's a real team, even the bad teams. Like, it's just the way it is. So, like,
best players in the world.
right. So, and he's now in the most difficult division in all of football. So he gonna learn. He gonna learn quick.
Yeah, he'll learn, but I think he'll adapt fine. I know you believe that too. He said, "How tall is Gabriel really?" I think they have listed him what, at 5'10"?
Yeah, but he's probably about 5'8".
Damn, really?
Yeah, no, I'm not even. I'm being serious. Like, and that's just based off of reports from like interviews and people who have actually stood next to him and everything. He's about 5'8".
I'm gonna look right now.
They
I'm gonna
probably
do
do
it.
have him listed at like 5'10", 5'11". That's not. It's like saying Steph Curry's 6'4". He ain't 6'4".
They have him
That
listed as
man ain't 6'4".
5'11", 5'11", 205 pounds. He ain't no
Yeah,
5'11".
yeah, that's fake.
I mean, I got the picture right here. Joe Flacco, for all intents and purposes, is give me 1 second. Joe Flacco is listed at 6'6", Mike. Right? So you tell me. That's that's 6 feet up there, or 6'6" with Joe Flacco. Dylan Gabriel is almost a Kenny, up just a bright, just slightly above Kenny Pickett's shoulders. Mike, who's listed at 6'3". He's got to be 5'9", 5'10". He look at about 5'9", 5'10", I would say.
Yeah, 5'9" on a good day.
Yeah, I agree. 5'9". Damn. And Shedeur, he looks about it. They have him listed at
What?
6'1".
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I think with his cleats on, he's 6'2", which is about average. That's good height for QB. Yeah. But yeah, he's definitely a smaller quarterback for sure. I feel Gabriel's ceiling is Ryan Tannehill. I also feel like Shedeur Sanders' ceiling is Russell Wilson, in my opinion. I
Russ
think,
is an interesting comp.
well,
Mm.
is it though? I mean, they're
I don't
kind of about the same
know.
size height wise. I don't know. I mean, what do you what? That's a good. I haven't really thought about comps. I mean, I think Dylan Gabriel to me, Mike. The only guy I can think of actively is Tua. I don't think he's as good as Tua, but Tua just because he's left-handed and the size, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're just
But
thinking left-handed.
yeah, but I don't. As
I
far as
think.
this, if I'll be honest with you, Mike, I'm gonna be completely honest. As far as Dylan Gabriel's comp, I think he's just a left-handed DTR.
Oh, he's better than DTR.
I,
I don't know what quarterback I'd like. Maybe Dylan Gabriel has like Colt McCoy in him, like accurate, doesn't turn the ball over, can run an
no,
offense. I would,
He ain't no damn Colt McCoy.
at least just based off college. I mean, his college career is
Do you know how
aeons
good
better
Colt
than Colt
McCoy was in
McCoy.
college?
Dude, the most productive college quarterback ever is Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, but
But
I don't mean, yeah, but you can inflate numbers in college just by the system. I'm saying Colt McCoy was a legend in college.
yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying if
Dylan
we're doing a
Gabriel,
comp,
5 years from now, we're not gonna look back and say, "Man, remember Dylan Gabriel?" You ain't gonna say
but
it.
as far as a comp for Shedeur, like I don't know if he's not here. Shedeur can break the pocket and run a little bit, but like I think we forget how athletic Russ was when he was younger, just because he's been in the league so long. Shedeur's never really had that in his game too much.
Well, I
I
think two
don't.
things they have in common is they both throw a very good deep ball.
No, they do. That's like I would argue. Yeah, Russ and
Both are
his deep
very
ball is
accurate.
similar,
I
but
mean, Shedeur. I mean, we talk about numbers in college. I think Shedeur is what the second highest or most accurate completion
he was the
percentage.
most accurate.
Yeah, the highest completion percentage in college football history. I mean, that's got to mean
Yeah.
something. I think that's the best stat you can have. I mean, one of the most impressive stats is completion percentage come out of college. I mean, that's pretty
You know,
impressive. Think of all the college quarterbacks in the history of the game.
if he goes well, he kind of reminds me just game wise of like a Donovan McNabb.
Hmm.
Really good deep ball, keeps in the pocket, steps up, but knows when to break the pocket, likes to run right. Works the middle of the field a lot in tight ends, but when he's not working the middle of the field, he tends to go deep. I think Donovan, if he goes well, I think that could be his ceiling is like a Donovan McNabb. I think that's a pretty good comp for Shedeur. Um,
I don't really know what his comp is because I'll be honest, he reminds me of a lot of different things when he's at his best. But then when he has moments where he's not as good, he looks like other guys I can think of that weren't as good. But
yeah,
I think I don't know. One thing. Here's what I'll say about him. I think he's one of the most polarizing prospects ever to, not
oh,
because of his name, just because How do I think one grading his uh or evaluating his college tape and stuff and evaluating him was one of the hardest evaluations I think scouts ever had to do because there was a lot of factors you had to take into it. You know what I mean? At one point, and one factor is okay, he's got Travis Hunter, an elite weapon on the outside. His dad's his coach. They run a heavy, Pat Shermer's running the scheme with a lot of air raids. He's throwing the ball a lot more. But then the other hand, it's like, well, he had a bad offensive line, never had a run game. Defense was not great. You know what I mean? It was kind of like there were so many factors into it, but um, and also the leap from playing at Jackson State to Division One, college football. So I think there's a lot of different factors there. Um, I don't know, to be honest. One thing I will say that he's one of the more impressive pocket quarterbacks I've seen in a while. I really believe that. I think the way he sits in that pocket, Mike, it's really natural to him. We know his relationship with Tom Brady, and I'm sure all many other guys he's worked with, but he just looks really good in that pocket, Mike. And he looks really good running the system too so far in OTAs. I think we look at the stats today, 7-9, 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's pretty comfortable, if you ask me. And I just think Mike, he fits to me just to I think he's going to fit the system really well because he can hit all the layups. He hits the layups really well, and I think the completion
Great
percentage in
football
college
mind
shows
too.
that. Yeah, great football mind. Um, I think he's actually a pretty good leader. I think I've never seen a teammate that didn't like him in college. I never
Yeah,
heard of one.
yeah, and his
So
teammates love him too, which is great. He's a great locker room presence. So
yeah, I think teammates should embrace who he is. He has a personality. He has a Sanders. I mean, he has a big personality, I think, but also I think he's very good at communicating. I've watched a lot of the behind the scenes on Well Off Media with during game days and practice. And the kid, one thing I liked about him a lot was he communicates with his guys a lot. Communication's
yeah,
key, and he's always on the same page. A lot of guys always going over film, going over things. The kid wants to be great, and that's one thing you can't deny him is his confidence. One of the most confident He's one of the most confident prospects I've seen in a while, Mike. The way he talks to the media, how he's responding to all this, very confident. And I think his confidence and I think his will and desire to be great because of his last name, he wants to be his own thing. I think all the things I like about him. In terms of a comp, though, I don't know. What if he's created his own comp? Like, what if we look down 5 years from now and say this guy reminds me of Shedeur Sanders?
yeah. I mean, that would be great.
Because I
I
don't.
would
I
love
mean,
that. No more, I would love that more than anything here, bro.
I
I'm
just think it's hard to put I mean, Russell
hoping on
Wilson's
the
not
kid.
bad. You said Donovan. I think Russell Wilson. I think that's a pretty decent one. I just don't know where a comp is, Mike, because I just think he's so unique.
Yeah, I
Nah, I
think
mean
Donovan
his play
McNabb is as
style,
close as you can get.
and I think his play style is more of kind of what you and I grew up in, more the traditional pocket guy, which I
Yeah,
like. I think quarterback plays an all time low because like a lot of these guys are not developed. These guys now are trained to be athletes first, not quarterbacks. I think you want a quarterback who is ideally athletic, but is a quarterback first. This kid's a quarterback first. So I don't know. The only thing that worried me is Graham blocked DG and didn't even jump. Do you know what he's talking about, Mike?
yeah. It was the play I was
I
actually
didn't
talking
see it.
about
I'm
earlier.
sorry.
Mason Graham. There was a little hop there, big Reg. There was a little hop. But yeah, he did
What was the play? I didn't
down
see it.
down a a pass of Dylan Gabriel's. He was just
Oh,
looking
I
down the
got.
middle of the field,
Oh,
and Mason Graham just like complete palmed it. And really, I don't know how much you can put on Dylan Gabriel. I think that was just a great play from Mason Graham. Here, Mason Graham's a 5th overall pick. He better be making plays like that in OTAs. So,
well,
I
and I
mean,
think too. I think Dylan Gabriel is probably adjusting to the speed. I mean, the NFL speed is a lot different from college. I mean, when you go from, I'll be honest here. I won a national championship in middle school, right? Played against really good competition, but the speed from middle school to high school, at each level you move up, the speed gets faster, right? The way you process things and just the way the games played. And then from college, or from excuse me, from high school to college, it's an whole nother level. But he adapted pretty
yeah,
well. Now, though, I think with his height, I think his talent to this point, he is a very talented kid. Obviously, I think that's why he's made it this far with his height, regardless of his height. Excuse me. But I think now from college to the pros, you're going against grown. I mean, these are all the top players in the world. Uh, I think I could see the speed being a thing from when I watched that interception he threw against Carson Schweizinger, Mike. All they were doing was running an angle route with the running back to the end zone. You know, it was a simple angle route, little red zone play, and you could tell the speed was a little too fast for him, even with the other rookies out there. And the size, obviously, I think, like you said, hurts him from probably seeing the
Yeah.
field completely. And so
And I will admit, though,
I'm not
Mason
saying
Graham had Javion Cohen in a lockbox, dude. He had both of his arms down. He had that man struggling. So Mason Graham was.
I think Mason Graham is really pretty damn good at it. I mean, he was one of the big contributors why Michigan was so dominant on that front line, especially the year they won the Natty. But was their best player defensively on that team on a great defense too, by the way. But I think I'm not surprised that it's happening because I get it happens sometimes. I mean, Shedeur could have his pass batted down tomorrow, Mike, and stuff happens. But I do think the speed, because of the height, I think that's something you're seeing right away with him. It's the processing, like you said, but I just think the speed of the game as well. When you're trying to sit there and read and go through your reads and scan the field, and also you have a height disadvantage already, and you're left-handed, and then that's fast these guys moving out. I mean, he's looking at quarters now, Mike. I mean, a lot of these throws you make in college, Mike, you think, okay, I got a split second to get to fit the ball in there. And Kyle, or in the NFL, some of these guys, especially like Denzel Ward, what you thought you had a second or two in college to throw a ball in a tight window to, that second's down to about a half second now, Mike. The window's tighter because these guys are a hell of a lot faster.
Oh yeah.
So, Ronnie says athletes always fudge the numbers when it comes to their height, especially. Yeah, absolutely. They always throw.
Steph Curry ain't 6'3". He can stop lying.
Well, it's like I heard Gilbert Arenas always said about LeBron. They list him at 6'8", but he's really 6'10" with his shoes on. Your cleats and your shoes really actually give you a little more, especially these guys have these big ass shoes or these tall ass cleats. You know what I mean? That's like an extra inch or two.
Right.
Shout out to Hummel in the chat. Hold down the chat. Appreciate you, brother. Hummel's one of the best moderators out there. Hummel's a great guy. He said, thank you for being here, brother. Big Red. Absolutely, Big Red. Thank you. He said, new sub. Shout out to Big Red, Mike. We got a new sub in the house.
Thank you, Big Reg.
I said Big Red. Mike, I can't read tonight.
It's all right.
Big Reg, I had you on my little screen off to the side here. On my little screen, it's a little small than the writing. So it looked like Big Red. I just glanced because I'm trying to read so many comments. Big Reg, I apologize for mispronouncing your name. Big Reg 409. We'll give you another clap. Thanks for subbing.
Thanks so much for subbing. We appreciate it.
Yeah, my bad, brother, for mispronouncing your name. I believe too. Tim also subscribed as well, Mike. So we'll give a shout out to Tim as well. Tim subscribed.
Thank you, Tim.
So thank you to Tim and Big Reg. I got it down now. He said Shedeur Sanders is comparable to Shedeur Sanders, 101. He might be, Rodney. That's what I'm seeing right now. He's hard to evaluate, man. I think he might be just a 101. I mean, I think you could pick bits and pieces, a little rust, a little this, a little that, but I really do think, Mike, he's creating kind of his own lane.
I mean, here, I hope so, man. I hope that's the case. I really, really do. I'm.
I do too. My gosh, I just want to have some fun. Mike and I have been covering the Browns since 2022, and my gosh, since then, outside of the Flacco run, Mike, we've had some rough years, bud.
Yeah. I mean, here, and we've been fans our whole lives. We've just been covering them.
Covering it, though, it's kind of like almost even like
you got to be plug in, and it's
I mean, and you got to come up here. It's like having a funeral out there. Freaking 70%.
When that Myles Garrett letter came out, I was about to jump off the Y bridge. I was.
That was one of our most electric shows ever. Was the day Myles did. I mean, the hotline was blaying that day. Man, Jersey called it from work. It was going off for like an hour. McNabb was the best comp for sure. Mobile, but not elusive. Yeah, man, you might have killed it there, right there, Mike. Maybe that is a ceiling. Sprinkle
would be great.
He said sprinkle a little too. Shedeur reminds me of Doug Williams.
That's another good. That's another good comp.
Shout out to Big Reg. That's a really good one there. I like what you said at the end there, Big Reg. Pure pocket passer. I agree.
I do like that Shedeur does that. Gives me a lot of faith for his talents in the NFL. It really does. That's the reason why I was so shocked he dropped to the 5th, because it's really hard to run a system like they did in Colorado, stay in the pocket, and especially staying in the pocket with as bad as that O-line was and being able to step up. That's what gives me a lot of hope for Shedeur. Is his pocket presence is already well established. He's good at it, and he manipulates the pocket, and that's really seems small, but I think you would agree. It's like one of the biggest things that can separate you from being a good quarterback to being a great quarterback.
When I watched the highlights of him at the rookie minicamp, Mike, when they were running a lot of just little play action plays, the way his feet are in the pocket already, just the smoothness and just I'm looking at the rhythm, right? The rhythm and just the simple fundamentals. And he looked really smooth, Mike. I mean, he looked like a natural there. Under center, that was one of my biggest concerns. A lot of these rookie guys nowadays, it's not their fault. In college, you're in the gun so much, really most of the time. I don't know, really barely any colleges go under center anymore, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, everything from the sideline now in college. That's why I think quarterback plays at an all-time low, because everything from the sideline too is just holding up a piece of paper, right? Here's the play. Look at the sign, and they don't have to. Like when I see the Jackson Dart thing, when John Gruden said, "Hey Jackson, what's your cadence?" and he just did this. That's a little scary to me if I'm an NFL team. Not
Well,
like
you saw John Gruden cringe. He's like, "Are you sure that's
yeah, I
it?"
mean, it's not his fault. The kid's really talented. You could teach him and help develop him, which I'm sure Dable will do because the kid's really talented. But that's a little concerning. That's really alarming to me because how's this guy going to process information on an NFL sideline with Malik Neighbors in his face, all these guys in his face that are looking to him like, they're looking to you as the quarterback, like you're the guy. And how are you going to be able to spit out the plays, call out audibles, ID Mike, ID the front, ID this, ID all that out there, all the things you have to identify pre-snap, make the audibles, and also call out the proper cadence, right? And then after that, you have to actually run the play and process and all the stuff we talked about earlier and the speed of the game. These guys nowadays, Mike, in college, are not prepared to do that. But I think with Shedeur, and I know what Dion was trying to do at Colorado, why he has so many former pros in there now, is he's trying to really prepare these guys for the NFL. And I think a Pat Shurmur, what his connection with a Kevin Stefanski, which is why I think there was a lot of smoke around Shedeur in the Browns pre-draft process. When you and I thought that he would you and I thought all along that he probably would be a Brown because of a lot of the connections he looked into. But I think the Pat Shurmur side of it, and Shedeur said this on the interview with Andrew Siciliano on the Browns YouTube page about how a lot of stuff they ran in college, Pat ran in college, is very similar to stuff they're running here. And that he's actually talked to Pat a lot since he got drafted here about what Kevin likes and what Kevin doesn't like, because they know each other very well. They're very similar in their concepts. Yeah. And the whole point is, I think Shedeur is probably more prepared than people think for the pro game. And I think watching him just play under center, Mike, and how smooth he looked on some of those clips, to me, that alone was the biggest thing that really impressed me, because Dylan Gabriel, I think, is going to have to struggle with that a little bit. And that it's not his fault. It's not these guys' fault. It's just, they're playing how they're developed, how they're coached. And he succeeded well in college. Kid was great. But I think playing under center, there's a difference between, Mike, when you have to drop back under center, right? When you're under center, you have to drop back, turn your head, and locate coverage. There's a whole different element to that these guys nowadays they're not developed to do.
Yeah. No, you hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah, I mean, everything's in the gun nowadays. Everything's a one read and all this stuff. I just and it starts at the high school level too, the way these quarterbacks being developed, Mike. And man, I'm around a lot of it here in Ohio, and I don't like a lot of it, the development, but that's a whole nother conversation. He said, I think this battle without a doubt killed the loser's confidence and probably career between Gabriel and Sanders. I don't feel like they did them justice just selecting both. I think that's a good point there, Tim. I mean, I don't like it either, especially if Shedeur wins the job and Gabriel's the backup. How does Gabriel feel knowing he was the third-round pick? But it is a business.
It's the NFL.
It's the NFL. It's what you sign up for. So,
I mean,
I think Shedeur's confidence is sky high, though. He's
right.
One of the confident players. When that dude speaks to the media, Mike, it's a lot of confidence going on.
Right. And here, the other thing, too, is Belichick. I mean, you look at Tom Brady, greatest quarterback ever. Belichick picked a quarterback nearly every damn year. In the draft. I mean, it never shook his confidence. It's just it's part of the gig, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think guys know how the business is. I mean, here, if Gabriel doesn't win the job, he's probably out. I'll be honest with you, he's probably out of Cleveland in 2 years. He probably go get he'll get a second chance somewhere else, and maybe he can go kind of pick somewhat where he goes to a team that would just give him a shot. You know, that's just how it goes. But it's a business. You know, it's what you sign up for. So
Yeah.
you just got to learn how to deal with it. Why does Shedor's confidence scare people away when others do it? It's not what I want in my QB.
That's what he said. It's what he wants in his quarterback.
That's what I want in all my players, not just my
Yeah.
quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Confidence is everything. If you don't have it up there, you're not going to have it out on the field. Why does it scare people away, Rodney? I think it's more to do with his last name. I think a lot of it because people look back at his dad. His dad was obviously a very brash personality. You know what I mean? He wrote a song, "Must Be the Money," but he backed. Obviously, he's one of the greatest players of all time. But I think a lot of people don't like that in their quarterback. Everybody wants their quarterback, Mike, to be, you know, how it is, real modest and, you know, hat
Right.
on forward, don't have your hat on backwards and blah, blah, blah. But I think teams nowadays, here, you don't think Tom Brady was confident? You don't think Brett Favre was confident? You don't think Peyton Manning was confident? You don't think all these guys were confident when they played? Mike Vick wasn't confident with his legs and his arm.
Aaron Rodgers is too confident.
Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I want my quarterback to be really confident because
Yeah.
the confidence spreads. Weakness, you know, a guy that's not confident, teammates will pick up on that. You know what I mean? They don't. If you don't believe in yourself, how are other people going to believe in you too? It's not
Right.
gonna. I mean, you're not going to be able to lead a locker room. I think this kid's confidence and his personality. But you know why? Because he can handle it. I think growing up in the spotlight, he already has money. He already grew up in the spotlight. He grew up on the TV show and all that. He's had the spotlight on the last 2 years, especially as a quarterback now. He's really in this just for the love of the game and to make his own name. I think his confidence comes from just a sense of just, I know who I am. This is what I want to be. And I know I'm capable of doing this. I'm prepared for this. And I think that confidence is what the Browns need. I think you look at the Browns, they weren't a very confident team last year, Mike. You know when they were confident, Mike? When they had Joe Flacco. You know why? Because Joe Flacco is a confident guy. To come off the
Yeah.
couch like that and play as well as he did, that's confidence. You can't do that without confidence. You can't do anything in life without confidence. I mean, Mike, you're in the car business. When your confidence isn't high, you're probably not selling a car that day. When your confidence is high, though, and you get a car deal, your confidence goes up, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, anything want to add to that?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you want confidence in anything you do. I think Shador's confidence doesn't scare people away. I think it's like kind of what Joseph was saying. It's more the name or, you know, the fact that he already has money, this, that, and the other. I think it's just the celebrity around him,
Yeah.
more than the confidence
Well,
kind of
it's like
thing.
the false report that came out too. They said he with the was it the Rolls Royce thing or whatever
Yeah,
that Dov what's his name, Dov Kleiman or whatever his name is on Twitter
yeah,
or X, excuse me. He put out there and Shador said it was false. So
yeah,
I mean, where does that come from? Like, it's almost like people were just kind of like, how do you get that report wrong?
yeah. How do you get the report wrong that bro bought a Rolls Royce?
Yeah, and then put it out there like it's real. Like, I think a lot of it's just kind of like, yeah. And I like that he came out and shot it down because I think he's trying to get away from that. You know, I think I really think this kid, he's confident, but I think he's really trying to create his own
Oh yeah,
lane. You know what I mean? His dad helped him get to a point. Now it's his time to go out and do his thing, which I think his dad probably would say, yes, son, go do your thing. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
of course. He did his job as a dad. Shout out to him. I love Mason Graham, incredible footwork. Yes, he does have incredible footwork, great hands, great hand strike for an interior guy. Really good balance, really great at getting through the double teams, clogging up the lane, pressure, which is something we need when you have a guy on the edge like Myles Garrett. We need more pressure at the middle, Mike. Pressure rate. And I think you look at all the Super Bowl teams, Mike, from the last 5 years. You look at the Chiefs, they have Chris Jones in the interior. The Rams, Aaron Donald. You look at the Eagles this year, great interior with Jalen Carter. Interior. It all starts in the trenches. And I think with the D line, what we've missed, as great as Myles Garrett is, if this kid can really put a great pressure up the middle, Mike, consistently and dominate the interior, it's only going to enhance Myles Garrett and all the other guys even more on
Oh,
the
I'm
edge.
so excited to watch Mason Graham on the field, dude. He's gonna be a beast.
Yeah. The interior defensive line, really the interior is the engine of your defense. because if you can clog up that middle and flush quarterbacks out the pocket consistently, like you saw in the Super Bowls and those teams won it, like I mentioned. I mean, go back to the Rams play, Mike, or the Rams game that last play when they won the Super Bowl. Jamar Chase is wide open down the sideline. If
Yeah,
Joe Burrow just has a second, they win that Super Bowl. But who got out the middle, Mike, and
Mr. Aaron
flushed him out of the
Donald.
pocket? Mr.
Mr.
Aaron Donald.
Donald.
Both times Patrick Mahomes lost the Super Bowl to the Eagles and to the Bucks. Both teams hell of a pressure rate up the middle, Mike. And who was the guy on the edge, Mike, for the Eagles this past year? Just got a contract with the Cardinals. Had the game of his life, the Super Bowl.
Oh,
The edge.
the Edge.
Yeah, he was on the edge. He just signed with the Cardinals. Had the game of his life in the Super Bowl.
Oh my gosh.
Really good player, but man, the interior really gave him a lot of sacks that night, funneling the quarterback to him.
Oh man,
Let me look it up real quick.
I know there's.
Well, I look it up though. You got anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean you just covered it. I mean Mason Graham is an absolute machine. He's going to be lining up next to Michael Hall, vice versa. It's going to be and Michael Hall already showed a lot as long as he can stay healthy and improve on what he started on last year. I think they're going to be an insane interior tandem. And then here you have Myles Garrett. So, like, I think our defensive line is going to be pretty well stocked. And then you have Carson Schwessinger now coming up from the middle. So, I think
I like the other guy they got too from the free agency from who was he from the 49ers?
Malik Collins.
I think he'll be a pretty decent role player.
Really good rotational.
He's fast too.
pass
He wants
rusher,
quick feet too. He's a really good pressure. Josh Sweet.
Oh,
Sweet, whatever it is.
Sweat. Yeah.
Sweat. Josh Sweat, who had 8 sacks for the season, but man, he had the game of his life in the Super Bowl. I think he had 2.5 sacks, 4 assists, 6 solos, or 2 solos and 2 total, but 2.5 sacks in the Super Bowl. And a lot of those were credit to the interior of the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you have Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and just the Avengers in that rotation, and then also Zach Bond having him, especially as good as he was last year, helped them a lot.
Yeah. Let's see here. Browns could have had Hunter and Sanders or Hunter and Gabriel. I'll never forgive them for letting Hunter go. I mean, it's still tough for me to swallow that too. I mean, we could have had Hunter and Sanders. I like Travis Hunter, but here, if Shedeur plays well, Mason Graham plays well, and if Shedeur and Mason Graham played great, and maybe they get a receiver next year in draft with the 2 first rounds they have, I think people.
And don't forget, we got Quinshon Judkins too from that pick.
We did. We got Quinn Johnson. Maybe Quinshon balls out too. Rodney Porter, Shedeur didn't scare him as daddy do. They do. Oh, talking about the draft process.
Yeah.
Shout out to Justin Breeze. He said Flacco said Dylan is already asking how he does his cadence. Well, there you go. Yeah, and that's another one. Dylan Gabriel came from Oregon, Michael. All they did was this. His whole career. Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma. Last year with what's the homeboy's name of it? Who's the Oregon coach?
I can't remember.
I should know this. I'm brain fart right now. I know this guy's name. Whatever. And Oregon, and his whole career in college, that's all he did, Mike, was clap.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think Shedeur's asking that question, Mike, because I never saw Shedeur clap one time.
No.
So I think he'll be just fine there. He's already got advantage there. Rodney Porter said NFL wants quarterbacks at the quarterback position. Now they've frowned upon a pocket passer. That's totally backwards. I totally agree, Rodney. Everybody nowadays wants an athlete that's a quarterback. That's completely wrong. You want a quarterback who ideally is athletic, but you want the quarterback first. For some reason, we've gotten away from that. And I think that's why the quarterback play, in my opinion, is at an all-time low. And it starts with development, especially at the high school level. Why take Gabriel and waste the third? Horrible draft as usual. Shout out to Teflon Donner, guy. He's in the house. Yeah, Teflon. I don't know, man, why they took Gabriel in the third still. I mean, I don't like the pick still. I don't think the guy's going to be a starter here anytime ever. But I don't know. Yeah, anything, Mike?
I thought it was a great draft other than the Gabriel pick. I mean, it was just a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, that's the only pick I didn't like was the Gabriel pick.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco's an old guy. Paul, the
But
true
he is.
believer. Shout out to you, Paul. He is an old guy. We know they're scared and petrified of Coach Prime. Yeah, possibly. Why do fans hate a winner? Why do Cleveland fans hate a winner? I don't know.
I don't.
Who
I
they
wouldn't
hating
say
on?
we
They hating
do.
on Joe Flacco? I don't know who they hating on, though, Mike.
I don't know. I don't think
I
we
think
hit
Cleveland
him.
fans are just really emotional because we've been through so much loss.
Yeah.
That's probably a lot of it. We're just tired of it. Big Reg, Rodney Porter, Coach Ryan gave his son a pro. Oh, they're talking about the process. Eagles never sent more than 4 almost the whole game. Yeah. Trenches for sure, but they could have had Hunter. Can't pass up on Hunter on any planet in any universe. I'm not going to argue with that, Tim. I love Travis Hunter. I mean,
here the trade was too good
Dan
to not
Lanning.
do.
By the way,
Though.
Dan Lanning. Thank you, Parmesan. I should know that. I had a brain fart. Thanks for helping me out, Parmesan. He said we got some people in the chat today. Yeah, shout out to the chat, Mike. Make sure everybody hit the like button, subscribe if you're on your way there. We need your help us out. The button. Yeah, Dan Lanning. Thanks for helping me out, Parmesan. What are you gonna say, Mike? I'm sorry.
Oh no,
This one here. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I thought the trade was just too good to pass up. You really don't usually get offered that much for non-quarterbacks. And I mean, here you still, and it's not like we traded back to 15. We traded back to 5. We still got Mason Graham out of it. We got Quinshon Judkins, and then another 1 next year. So,
well, like I said, but all pans out.
Yeah.
A year from now, we'll forget about it. It'll be.
I think Judkins is going to be a
It is what it
beast,
was.
dude.
They had to do. What's that?
I think Judkins is going to be a beast. He looks so good already.
I think it will be too. I like Judkins. He's a dog. We got some people in the chat today. Dan Lanning. Coach Prime is a positive, polarizing figure. Ask the networks. Haters make him negative. Yeah, I mean, you got any thoughts you want to add to that, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, he's just not afraid to clap back, and I think that's why a lot of he could be a little bit more polarizing as a coach nowadays. But here, I don't mind it. I think he's just a big personality, always has been, and for good reason.
He's Coach Prime, but he's Deion Sanders. I mean, he's always been a polarizing athlete, and either you hate him or you love him. Really, it's one of those guys. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like either you're a fan or you don't like him at all. I mean, it is what it is. But as far as Shedeur goes, I think Shedeur should be separate. I think Shedeur, like I said, that's why I think Shedeur has done a really good job of kind of creating his own lane this process, Mike, since he's gotten drafted, and has been. I think he's handled it pretty well too. I wanted Genty, but who knows? Yeah, I mean, who knows? Genty was a great prospect too. How could it be a message towards Shedeur if the entire league was in on it? I think he's talking about him falling to the 5th round. Like, wait, how could it be a message towards Shedeur if the entire league was on it? I mean, here something happened in these draft interview processes. Now, that's this is what according to the teams, right, Mike? We've seen all the reports.
Yeah.
Giants especially put it out there, which I don't know why the Giants leaked that after the draft. I thought that was kind of like, what's the reason for that? But I guess maybe because the fans are pissed they didn't take Shedeur, so they're trying to sell their fan base. Why? But I don't know. I think something happened in the draft process though that I think teams were kind of turned off by. I think Shedeur, honestly, Mike, because of the name, and I mean he is a polarizing figure. He's going to carry a lot of traction wherever he goes, right? I mean, how many media interviews he's done already here in Cleveland with the team alone and the team network. So, and the Browns are not shabby constantly posting him either because they're smart. They know he gains traction. But I think it had to be the right situation, and I think the Browns felt they could take him in the right situation at the right spot at the right time. And now, I mean, as far as the entire league. Who knows? I mean, I think some teams obviously never entertained it because they didn't need him. They already had a quarterback. So, but I think there were some teams out there, Mike, that had quarterbacks that, I mean, I know there was a team in the top 10 whose scout offensive coach put out that crazy ass comment that pissed the Sanders family off. saying it was the worst interview ever. And obviously, not. It sounds like that was the Giants. So, yeah, you got any thoughts on that, Mike?
No, you hit the nail right on the head. I
Yeah,
agree with.
I mean, who knows? There's a lot more things behind the scenes that fans and
A
people
lot
will
more
never know.
nuance that I don't think we'll know. Yeah.
We'll never know. Like that's the reason why there's what they put out publicly and what really goes on behind closed doors. But these guys all know each other. All right, it's a small, especially agent community. You want to know information? Go to the agent community. And I think of the agents, a lot of the agents were talking throughout that process behind the scenes. So take a Tyler Shuck before Shedeur is crazy to me. I don't know. There's been players with way more questionable and crazier character issues still. But to not even want to take a chance in the first 4. Yeah, I mean, here Johnny Manziel with all his stuff, Mike. They took Brown still took him in the first round. And I think Johnny was talented, very talented, to come out of college. But who knows? I mean, I think we kind of hit the nail on the. We already talked about this about a lot tonight, Mike. But I don't know. You got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest Tyler Shuck guy. I don't know why the Saints took him all the way in the second. That's a little nuts, especially because he's like, I'm gonna joke a little bit. I know he's like 25, but bro's like 30. Like he's been in college so long that he should have like a doctorate by now. So yeah, I wasn't a big Tyler Shuck guy, but here, at least the Browns reap the benefits of that. Shedeur is
I
a
don't.
Brown.
I mean, as far as Shuck last year at Louisville, he was really good at Louisville. Comes from the Braun brothers who coached him in college. One of the best NFL developer coaches, NFL quarterback developing coaches in the sport. Period. At the Braun brothers, but I think Shedeur probably was better than Tyler Shuck. Plus he's younger, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it was a character thing, Mike. Maybe it was for some teams. Again,
Maybe.
a lot of this stuff we will never know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams, Mike, really just couldn't handle the last name and what comes
Yeah.
with it. Not by his own, just by nature. Like look how much more media. I mean, hell, look how many more people we have on our chat, Mike, just from him being here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people steer away from that because they can't handle it or they don't want it. That's just how some organizations are. The Browns, though, they proven they don't give two shits.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, Deshaun Watson, all the allegations. Here's $235 million guaranteed, bud. You know what I mean? Like they have no problem. Odell Beckham Jr. I know you don't really want to be here, but we'll trade for you anyways. Baker Mayfield, polarizing prospect, come out of college, had some questionable stuff on and off the field. First overall pick. Like Jimmy Haslam has no problem taking a swing. Like in his words, a swing, a big swing on people. Sometimes he may miss. He's missed so far, but hopefully with Shedeur Sanders, he hits a grand slam.
Gotta hit eventually.
Yeah, yeah, eventually. Last winter, he said, "Why do they say Shedeur can't run? All he does is move the chains." Plenty of highlights. Well, you hit the nail right there on the head, Roddy. I mean, I wouldn't even look at the running part of it, like we were talking about earlier with the pocket presence. I mean, you look at the completion percentage in college, Mike. Highest completion percentage of all time. That's moving the chains. As long as you get first downs, move the chains, and move up the field, you'll have success in the NFL. If you do it consistently and not turn the ball over, which he did in college, Mike.
Yeah.
So
yes, he did. Yeah, he was a chain mover, dude.
Yeah, he was a chain mover. I wonder I'm gonna go look at the stat. How many first downs? Like where did in total first downs gained last year in college football? Where did Colorado rank in that? I'm really curious in that. Like in the entire sport, you know what I mean? Where did they rank? I have to go look that up. I'm rooting for Gabriel though, man. I feel like he gets lost in the shadows. I hope he pans out as well, but Shedeur is just better. Bad 2 picks. Yeah, I mean, you got any thoughts on Gabriel, Mike? I mean, I'm not. I think he'll be on the team, Mike, just because they took him third overall. I think
he'll be on the team.
I think he'll be the third quarterback on the depth chart, but
could end up being the second. I mean, here. You might just have drafted your starting quarterback and backup quarterback. I mean, if one of them pans out, that's a dub.
Here's what I think about Gabriel, Mike. If he ever wants a career in the NFL as a starter one day, I don't think it's going to happen here because I think the guy in front of him, I think the other guy's just better. But I think if he's a guy, in my opinion, needs a lot more development. Like you already saw he's already asked Joe Flacco about the cadence and all that. I think if this guy takes time and to really develop, right, kind of like what Jordan Love did for all those years,
Yeah.
and just really develop. Take your time, soak in as much information as possible, maximize every rep, and get your shot somewhere else, like Sam Darnold did. I think that's actually the best case scenario for this kid. It's actually the wait and the sit and develop and go through what he's going through. Because I think maybe 3 to 5 years from now, Mike, it might help him out in the long run somewhere
Oh
else.
yeah.
Whoever watched 5 rounds of the NFL draft until this year? No one. I thought the NFL wanted eyeballs. you know what's funny about that, Rodney? Mike, what were we saying night one on our live? We're like, there's no way he's not getting taken night one.
Oh yeah. Then night 2 came, and then
Right.
halfway through
I'm
day
thinking night
3,
two, Mike. We had the first pick in night 2. I'm
I
thinking. I
thought that
remember I'm
was
sitting
that.
there. Yeah, I'm thinking. Okay, he'll be the highlight of night 2. He'll be the first overall pick on Friday night, and everybody will tune in, right? Because it's still prime time slot. Didn't happen. So I don't know. If Shedeur, but again, going back to what we said to Mike to finish, there was some going back to the guy asked earlier about the message being sent. I don't know what their message was, Mike, clearly, but there clearly was a message, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because he hit. I mean, why wouldn't the NFL want him taken on prime time? Right? I mean,
Right.
yeah, the NFL, they're not stupid in terms of making money, but why they did it, went about it the way they did, I don't know. We'll never know. If Shedeur becomes week 1 starter, what happens to the GM for the Dylan Gabriel pick?
He gets a promotion. I don't know.
If
I mean,
if Shedeur plays well, you'll forget all about it.
yeah. I mean, it's not like people are making a big well-to-do about the Dylan Gabriel pick, and I get it. I wasn't a huge fan of the pick either, where he was picked, but
Yeah, I wasn't either.
He wasn't like picked on day 1. He was the last pick, basically, of the 3rd round. He was picked 99. You know, we had already made 4 picks at that point. We had picked Mason Graham, great pick; Carson Schwessinger, great pick; Quinshon Judkins, big fan; and Harold Fannin Jr., which I thought there was an argument to be made. He was the 3rd best tight end in the entire draft. You know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. You know, guys at the end of the 3rd round don't make it to a second contract more often than they do. So, you know, I mean, I think it's just going to be a footnote. You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the way, link is in the chat to join. If you want to come up and just give your take real quick, and you come up, say your take, and then go back down, and we'd love to have you up here for a segment. Got anything you want to say? Before we wrap it up, where did I leave off, Mike? I got so many comments tonight. I love all you guys in the comments tonight. It's great. I feel like they could have gotten a Will Johnson or someone in Shedeur. What's your thoughts on that, Mike?
I mean, Will Johnson was taken at the end of the 2nd, I think. I mean, there were a couple guys on.
Because of his.
He did fall because of the
injury, and I think his man to man, I think, in his 40 time running stride for stride was a question mark as well.
But I mean, corner, you feel like you're pretty well locked up. I mean, you pick the 2nd best linebacker in the entire draft at pick 33. And now we know that, that was probably fueled by knowing JOK wasn't going to be back this year. And then you get another starting running back, your new franchise running back, because you're not bringing back Nick Chubb. And then you get Harold Fannin. I mean, the only other guy at the board at pick 99 that I would have taken, or like, there were a couple guys, obviously. I mean, a bunch of guys I would have rather them taken than Dylan Gabriel. But at that point, at least on my personal draft board that I wanted for the Browns, was like Xavier Watts.
Yeah, he was Xavier Watts, Jack Sawyer was there. Maybe another bookend, but I was Xavier Watts to me. It was Xavier Watts or the Ty Felton kid.
Yeah, or Ty Felton was still there. But
the receiver.
I mean, here they went that way, and then day 2 they pick up Dylan Sampson, so you get your running back tandem. And go back and watch my professional fan episode of my running back breakdown, because I was a huge fan of Dylan Sampson. So I'm really happy he's a Brown. He's kind of flew under the radar, but he was Tennessee's set the record for most touchdowns in Tennessee volunteer history with 22. SEC Offensive Player of the Year. The kid's a machine on day 3. So
a lot of versatility in that backfield now.
Oh yeah,
I like it. Tune in Sports said they willing to take the risk. I agree with you, Tune.
Everyone, including casual fans, were tuned in to see where Sanders is going with facts. When it's all said and done, Sanders will be a steal from this year's draft for y'all. I hope you're right, too. By the way, if you're into Cavs NBA content, go subscribe to TuneIn Sports, right, Mike?
Oh, absolutely. TuneIn has amazing content on NBA, Cleveland Cavaliers, but he's just awesome at his coverage, breaks it down, knows the game well. Subscribe to TuneIn.
Subscribe to TuneIn Sports. Great guy. I was over there yesterday. Go check out his episode yesterday. I'm contribute over there myself and another content creator, DFJ Hoops. Go subscribe to him as well. Great Philly guy. Great content. And our man Humble, we were all up there yesterday talking about the Cavs and some more NBA stuff. So you're in NBA content, go check out TuneIn Sports. Great stuff over there. Go help them out. And with that, Mike, shout out to Rodney Porter. He said, I appreciate your style of commentary. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rodney. We appreciate you coming in the house tonight. New subscriber, Mike. We got 3 new subscribers.
Oh, I appreciate
tonight,
you, Rodney.
Rodney. We really mean this, guys, from the bottom of our hearts. You have no idea how much, when we see you guys subscribe, how much it gets our juice flowing, because we've worked really hard, Mike, and we're young and up and coming, but we know we've really worked as hard as we can. We have a real life jobs as well, or just real. I know Mike especially has a real life job, and we got a personal life as well. So we try to grow this channel the best we can with all that stuff going on in our real life, and so it really means a lot to us. If I said that right, Mike.
That was beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Well, it's looking a little late, Mike. I'm a little tired, to be honest with you. No, I'm just kidding. Rodney Porter says, shout out to you. Salute to you, Rodney. Hope to see you back. Well, we will see you back. You're subscribed now. We'll see you on the next one, brother. But yeah, Mike, I think we hit on a lot tonight. I only had 3 notes, but I think we kind of definitely flew right through those 3 notes, Mike. Before I get out of here, Mike, I want to give a shout out to a friend of the show, Mike. Well, my brother, a guy who means a lot to me, helped me through some really dark times. Probably the darkest moment of my life. He was really there for me. Was a great friend to me. My man, Michael Matthews, also known as Bake, Mike, if I can get it on the screen here. Give me 1 second. So, my man right here, Michael Matthews. If you guys don't know who Michael Matthews is, you can see there's Kai Sanat there. Streamer University just had one of the biggest, arguably the biggest stream of all time on, I think, Twitch history, Mike, or one of them. Was at the University of Akron in our hometown this weekend, Mike. It was mayhem down here in Akron. People were going crazy. I was down there in the area some nights checking it out, and saw it Saturday night as well when they were on the buses and stuff. It was complete mayhem. But obviously, my man, Michael Matthews. Mike, Mike knows Mike.
I do know Mike.
Yeah, Mike's been on the show a couple times. He comes on when he can. We're going to have him on back again soon. But Mike is also an Akron native, and he went to the Akron University, or the University of Akron, excuse me. And so that's why the Stream University ended up there, because Mike is, as you can see there, he's on the production and creative team at Kai Sanat LLC. So shout out to our man, Michael Matthews. I know him as
Mike.
I call him Mike Jones. Mike Jones. He's going to be on the show again soon. But shout out to our friend of the show. If you guys remember, he was on this episode here. This was from 3 years ago, Mike.
It's interesting to me. God really did have that plan for me throughout this entire time. Mm-hmm. It was simply just up to me when I was able to stop playing God. I thought I was the one making things happen. No, God is in control. A saying my dad.
And God had a plan for him, Mike. He certainly had a plan for him, and he just lit the world on fire. So we got to give a big round of applause to our boy, Mike Matthews.
Congratulations, Mike. You earned it, bro.
Yeah, shout out to you, Mike. I was texting him a little bit ago. Hope we might meet up with him this weekend. We'll see. But shout out to my boy Mike. So proud of him, and from where we started, back our freshman year of high school all the way to now, to see what he's doing. Just had the biggest stream and brought it to our hometown, Mike. That's what was crazy about it.
Oh, I know.
That it was really cool. It was really cool for all of us. And yeah, shout out to you, Bake. Love you, brother. And see you soon. But shout out to Mike. I had to do that, Mike. Like, friend of the
show. No, yeah, absolutely. Mike's a hell of a guy, dude.
Hell of a guy. He'll be back on again soon. He likes to come on a football season and talk ball with us too. So when he's available. Obviously, he's a busy guy. Obviously, #1 streamer in the world. So
Right.
he's got a task at hand now. He said that was the hardest thing he's ever done was at Streamer University. So
No doubt, dude.
yeah, but he pulled off and put on for the city. So shout out to Mike. Yeah. Let's see here. See you buffs in the house. Great show. I'm out. Appreciate you, Big Reg. We'll see you again. Thanks for your subscription, buddy. And I'm kind of curious to see what the buffs look like this year too. Post Shedeur Travis there. It's been kind of interesting.
Yeah, that will be exciting.
Streamer University was genius. Yes, it was. And shout out to Mike for and Kai and that whole team over there. Raul's in the house, my guy. Boys, what's up, Raul? Good to see you, my friend. Only Browns fan get excited about a 13-12 QB who played against Kent State talent. We gotta have more optimism, Raul. We're hoping for the best, Raul. We're hoping for the best. He said, "Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I saw that Kai was in your area." Oh yeah, well now you know why, Tune. That's my boy Mike Matthews. He's the producer. You saw their production team for Kai Sinat. That's what everybody was wondering why he was at Streamer University. Mike and I knew why because we know Mike. But yeah, a lot of people were wondering why the hell did he up at Akron, Ohio. That's why, because Mike went to Akron. You go read the article. I'll put the article in the description below. Actually, I'll put it right here. You guys can copy and paste it. Maybe I can put it in the chat. Go read the article though, and they talk about how Mike reached back out to his alumni and got it done. And here's the article right here for you guys in the chat. Just copy and paste that, and there you go. So yeah, but he's also a friend of the show too, so he'll be on soon, and we'll ask him all about that, Mike. So I can't wait to ask him about what kind of behind the scenes of that too. He said, Joseph, Mike, keep up the great work. Appreciate you, Rodney, again, brother. We love having you guys in here tonight. Our boy Joey DiBiasio, contributor to the show, and also friend, but he's also a contributor to the show as well. You two talk Browns news better than anybody. Oh, look at you know what?
Look at you,
Joey. Even though you said Kobe Bryant's not a top 10 player of all time. Still love you though, Joey. You're my guy. But no, I'm just playing with you. Appreciate you, Joey. And Joey's a big part of this show too, Mike. He's obviously he's a big contributor here. He comes on when he can, and we love having him on. Great guy. Are we ready for Browns record predictions yet?
That's not this video.
Yeah. Because
that's its own video.
Dan is just dying to see your prediction. What was your prediction last year, Mike? Do we not want to pull it up again or just move on from it?
I think I said if Deshaun worked out, I said like something crazy, like 12-5 or 13-4. And then I said if it didn't work out and he was bad, I said we would win like 5 games. So I was like 2 games off. So
when you were like, oh yeah, it's right here. He said 13-4 was his prediction.
Yeah.
Said, what?
I gave myself an out. I said if Deshaun Watson wasn't good, but I said if Deshaun went back to old Deshaun, it would be a 13-4 team. If it didn't, it would be a 5-win team. I was 2 games away with if it didn't, I gave myself an out.
This is why Mike is the
quarterback is the most important position in sports.
He said and then a 7-2 table run with 9 games left mid-season.
Was that other video we did when we actually like broke down the schedule?
No, yeah, you and my dad made a video. No, you and Jersey made a bet when it was like 9 games left in the season. Remember that? When he got benched and Jameis came in and they beat the Ravens, and you said that they were going to win 7. You said they were going to go 7-2 down the stretch. You guys made a bet.
Did I? I don't remember.
Because you bought him a Ronnie because of it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, Dan's on top of that. Whatever he, like I said, he's dying for your prediction.
I say a lot of stuff on the internet.
But, yeah. Also, shout out to Dan Alive. You guys will know Dan is also a contributor here on The Real. He has his own show, him and Chris Gerganis, called The Fix with Dan and Chris, a sports betting show, which should be coming back here soon. I know Chris has had some personal stuff going on, some life change and stuff. So, but we'll, people have been busy too. So, the show will be coming back here soon, though, Mike. I know you can't wait for that. We love watching The Fix with those two. Those guys are great, Mike.
Yeah,
it's like we used to watch, or you used to see the debates in person every day at work. But can't wait for that to come back. So yeah, stay tuned for The Fix here at The Real Media.
Wasn't so much
Joseph,
as a debate as it was Dan talking at us, and then we get a chance to reply at some point.
yeah. Joseph and Mike, the Shaq and Kobe duo, or Kobe and Shaq duo. Appreciate
Oh, that's
that.
a very
Hell of a
big
compliment. We're
compliment.
very
Thank you, Tunin.
thank you. We're very humble over here. But yeah, we just try to be ourselves, that's all. But you're a humble guy too, Tuna. You're a great guy too. The Fix will be back soon with predictions for each division, Super Bowl odds. First episode, AFC North. So there you go. And you want to see a preview of the Fix, Mike? Here it is. I love that sound at the end there, Mike. It just sounds like you watch that show, you're making a lot of money by watching that show.
Yes.
You got
Yes.
two gurus right there. So stay tuned for the Fix. I can't wait for that, Mike. He said, wait, someone said Kobe's not top 10 player. Yeah, DiBiaseo said he's not a top 10 player of all time. He said, oh, he meant to say, call me Bryant. Or no,
Yeah, Kobe Bryant not in the top 5 or 10 is blasphemous.
By the way, the Oklahoma City Thunder blew out the Timberwolves 124-94 to make it to the NBA Finals, first time since 2012.
I'm gonna already call it. I think OKC wins their first championship.
That's how it's looking, man. They're Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. My gosh, he's good.
He's gonna win Finals MVP. He's my Finals MVP already. That dude is a.
Hey, that'd be great for that fan base, though, man. They just
Kobe's top 10, just not better than LeBron.
You said he wasn't top 10. You sent me that damn thing.
I mean, he's not better than LeBron. I'll agree with you on that, but he's top 10.
But you said he wasn't top 10 over the weekend. The hell? Now he's backpedaling.
Here, I'll give you a top 10 right now. Completely objective.
No, don't. We don't want to hear it.
I'm going to do it.
You got to think about it first.
I'm not going to think about it. I'm going to do it right now.
Try to help you out.
Real quick before we're out of the show, because we're ending the show here in like 5 minutes anyway. So easy. I'll give the people something to think about. Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Hold on. Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Bill Russell, Tim Duncan, Shaq. Then I'd probably go Kareem. And then 10. You could have a lot of dudes at 10. But, I mean, you could go like real old, like, I threw Bill Russell in there. You could go like Wilt. You could go Reggie Miller. You could go Chuck.
Whoa. You should just mention, I love Reggie Miller, but in the top 10?
You could go Chuck. You could go. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Forget everything I just said. 10. Number 10, Hakeem Olajuwon.
I was about to say, my God.
I was forgetting about Hakeem Olajuwon. I did that in 30 seconds.
Mike, Kobe, LeBron, Magic, Bird, Shaq, Duncan, Hakeem, Kareem. I think Isaiah Thomas should be worth putting up there. 2 championships, almost a dynasty in the middle of that era with Magic and Bird. I think I like Allen Iverson. I'm really high on AI. I know some people aren't as high on AI. I think AI was one of the few players in NBA history where they literally had a zone against him. 4 guys. Well, they literally put 4 guys in a zone to stop one guy and just said, the hell with your other 4 teammates. We don't care if they scored 20 or whatever. We have to stop you. And they still couldn't stop him. Oscar Robertson, like Dan put in the chat, another one, triple-double. I mean, Oscar.
There are so many great players.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Well,
I mean, my gosh.
Wilt. Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Stockton. If you want to put him up there, Malone. I mean,
he said Reggie and Chuck don't belong in the top 10, Mike, but it's all opinionated at the end of the day. He said the fact that Reggie Miller.
I didn't put him in the top 10. I said, forget everything I said. I didn't put him there.
I told you to slow down. I was trying to help you out. I told you. You're going to say, yeah, Stockton. Yeah, I mean, why not? Karl Malone. I mean, I mean,
There's so many good players. I said Magic, right?
he said I agree with that. Oh, I see. He said he did. So Joey sent me a video from Player's Choice. You guys with Player's Choice, Chilltown over there, who's Shaq's cousin. He doesn't have Kobe in his top 10. And he made an argument why. But Joey said that he made a reasonable argument. I said the argument was not reasonable at all. Anybody who doesn't have a list with Kobe in the top 10 should not be talking basketball.
Is Dwayne Wade a top 20 player all time?
No,
top 20.
He would be my top 20. No.
Okay.
I probably would have Steph Curry ranked all time over Dwayne Wade.
No, that's fair.
I mean, I'd have Kevin Durant over Dwayne Wade all time.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how high Kevin Durant would be on my list.
And Dwayne Wade obviously made a more championship role when he played with LeBron, but I just think KD is just, yeah, he's maybe KD fell short in a lot of ways, some people, but I would have him over Dwayne Wade. I think he's just a better basketball player.
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade is great, but it's all here. Everybody's got their own list, but we'd have to really I haven't really thought.
That'll be another video idea. We'll do top 10s.
Yeah, we'll do top 10s. We'll have
we know the people love the top 10s.
We'll have Dan up here. We'll have Tunin up here. That'd be a good one. We'll do that one day. Let my dad. My dad's top 10 will just be all the most aggressive players in NBA history. Who fought the most? Yeah. That'd be Jersey. That's his favorite players. Dennis
Rodman, left the basketball court and clocked into his plumber job right after.
Yeah, he said, I rock with Chilltown. He does hoops. He's from Jersey, but of course he's wrong. Yeah, Chilltown argues with my guy up there. I'm going to get him on the show. I grew up with him, Dion from Ohio. Dion's actual Falls boy, Mike. He graduated from Falls. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I played ball with Dion. Name's Dion Davis. We grew up together, played ball. But now he's up there, too, on Player's Choice. Him and Chilltown have argued quite a few times. Dion, I got to ask you, because Dion might be watching it. He may see this, because I know he checks in every now and then. Dion, I love you, brother. You're my guy. I grew up with you. Got your back always. But that take you gave about Anthony Davis is better than Tim Duncan. I don't know what the hell that was. Or you said something about Anthony Davis is never better than Tim Duncan at anything. I cannot wait to ask him about that when I see him next time whenever I talk to him again. But shout out to Dion from Ohio. But keep doing your thing, brother. Mike, you know you got your show as well over here on The Real, the professional fan. This is what they can look forward to, Mike. Love that intro. Mike, what can they look forward to on your show this week?
I've been slacking, people, and I'm sorry. So I'm still doing the AFC North draft review. Then I'm going to try and break down each individual player for the Browns here shortly. But it's going to be sporadic with some of my plans because now the OTAs have ramped up. Probably going to cover in-depth OTAs as it unfolds, and hopefully we learn more. But knowing the Browns, probably not because they're tight-lipped. But
yeah, that's true. Shout out to Rio. He said, like your guys' podcast. Appreciate you, Rio.
Thank you
for tuning in tonight, brother. Hit the subscribe button, and you'll come back and hear some more. He said, that music is the same I hear every time I am driving home from a disappointing Browns home opener. Perfect intro. That is great music, Mike. It does sum it up, just like depressed Browns fans. We're just always so used to crap. You know what I mean? He said Browns draft was cheeks, draft was weeks ago. Who cares? Yeah, Teflon, he's just not liking anything about the Browns right now, Mike.
That's fine.
That's fine. Well, we love you though, Teflon. Thanks for tuning in. We know you rock with us. But I'm looking forward to that, Mike. I know you're gonna have some other stuff too. You're gonna breakdowns and then also kind of, like you said, talk about where the depth chart will look like with a lot of these rookies as well. Who you think's gonna get out on the field soon and who won't, and so that'd be cool. Browns need to trade Kenny Pickett in a second rounder for the Saints for Chris Olave. Sign me up right now, Mike. I'm in.
Feel about it.
I know Albert Breer did mention yesterday there is some Chris Olave smoke with the Browns. Albert Breer is pretty plugged in, Mike. He says things very calculated. So if they can land Chris Olave, Mike, not sure what they have to give up to give it. And Dan's scenario, I would do that trade, Mike. Would you?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd do that trade in a
I think
heartbeat.
Chris Olave was a first round. I think he's a great receiver, especially when he's on the field and stuff. I think a number 2 or whatever probably number 1 or whatever. I don't care. Alongside Jerry Jeudy, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's a great receiving core.
I like
and
and they need
the thing
it.
about Andrew Berry too that we forget is even if they don't get him this year, Andrew Berry's going to keep calling on him, dude. I mean, we got Jerry Jeudy. He was interested in Jerry Jeudy 2 years ago. He ended up getting him later.
I think there's you're right. That's a hell of a point because when he wants somebody, he goes after him.
Yeah,
that's one thing I like about AB is he doesn't stop trying. So if he can land Chris Olave, and if Albert Breer's saying they're interested, that means they're pretty interested on him. You know what I'm talking about, Mike.
Oh
so I think if they can land Chris Olave, go Bucks. He was one of my favorite Buckeyes ever. I just loved. He was one of my favorite house receivers in my lifetime watching. Just how smooth he was, deep ball threat. Chris is the man. Super fast.
He's got dogs.
Yeah, dog. I mean, I would love that. I think him and Shedeur or Flacco. I think him and Shedeur actually do really well together, especially as well as Shedeur likes to throw the deep ball. Chris can run all the deep routes. So,
great yak player too.
Oh yeah, trade Dylan Gabriel on a step ladder.
What are you doing, step ladder?
Yeah. But well, Mike, we had a hell of a show tonight. Appreciate all the people in here.
Mike, thank you guys so much.
Tell them why you like, subscribe, and share.
Like, subscribe, and share because it helps us out. We're still up and coming, growing the show, building the show, and you can be a big part of that. And just liking and subscribing is free. It helps us out a lot. And if you enjoyed this show, I hope you enjoyed it enough to share it. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, what have you, X. I'm sorry, Instagram, all that good stuff. Just help us get the word out. It helps the show a lot.
Absolutely. Subscribe to over here to the Real Media. Like I said, my show right here to the Real Joseph Ladman, the professional fan with Mike Antonace. And we'll have the fix with Dan and Chris coming. Great show tonight, Mike. As always, love all you guys. Like, subscribe, share all the good stuff, and we'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here. Are you saluting, Mike?
I'm saluting upside down right now.
Upside down?
Oh, yeah. I'm doing a handstand just for the show.
Wow.
Can't see it, though.
Damn it. We'll see you guys next one. We're out of here. Gone.